All right, Caleb, thank you for the virtual introduction to Khione Outdoor Gear. My name's Nicholas. I'll be representing us today on stage. I want to get a poll. How many people here have heard of the shell? Okay, a lot of you. Good, that's what we like to hear. For those of you who don't know, this is the shell, and you got a good introduction in the video. Did you know that 100,000 people are searching the term hammock camping every single month? And I imagine a lot of those people are here in this room. Did you know that this year, $80 million of hammocks will be sold in the United States alone? And again, I would imagine a lot of those will be sold to people in this room. This is what the market looks like for hammocking over the last couple of years. It's increased threefold in the last 5 years. This has become because people love camping in a simple way like a hammock rather than a traditional tent. But if you hammock camp, you and I both know that that comes with a lot of challenges. You get cold, you get wet, and the hammock does nothing to keep the bugs out like a tent would. We've tried a lot of other solutions like an underquilt or a tarp, which solve one problem, but don't solve the whole variety of problems. There are other complex competitors, however, they're just that complex. They use tent poles, they use stakes, they use lines, and what hammock camper wants to go through the hassle of setting one of these things up? It's just too complicated. So, what is the shell? The shell is the shelter that encompasses all four aspects of a good hammock shelter. It's warm, it's dry, it's bug-free, and it's extremely simple. This is our newest prototype of the shell that is being manufactured. And I'll review the features for you. First, it has a simple setup with only 2 attachment points that attach to the same carabiners you use on your hammock. It keeps you warm with IR insulation on the inside and goose down around the bottom, so you sleep in the shell without the need for a sleeping bag. It's waterproof, made of ripstop nylon, and it has mesh windows so that you can still stargaze and talk to your friends without letting the bugs inside. We've been through 9 prototypes and had 58 different people take this out on overnight field trips. And throughout that process, we've talked to over 2,000 different people in interviews and focus groups and these different field tests. And for those of you in the room who've been involved in that process, we thank you because it's made the shell awesome. So awesome that when we took the shell to Kickstarter and our online store, we raised over $110,000 in pre-sales because people are in love with this concept. We're bringing the shell to you through our online store at Khione and through retailers like REI and Backcountry at an affordable price of $189. Remember, this replaces your tent, your sleeping bag, and your tarp, and it packs down smaller than your sleeping bag itself. This is our team. We're 2 engineers, a web developer, a marketer, a seamstress, and maybe bringing on the CEO in the near future. We at Khione Outdoor Gear are committed to getting you outside with your friends with less gear and less hassle. In fact, our engineering team right now is working on a new product. It's a one-man tent that utilizes the same technology to keep you warm inside your tent without the need for a sleeping bag. So, we're not getting the next slide here. There we go. We hope that you, the audience, and the judges will vote for the Khione Outdoor Experience, and to remember us, we have some t-shirts to throw out to the audience. But you're gonna have to cheer if you want one. Great, thank you, Casey and Caleb. Are there any questions?
Yeah, if I invested in this category and I were also a bear, there would be no downside here.
A little taco for the bears.
So,
That's right.
no, seriously though, I'm like afraid of bears.
Well,
Am I trapped in there? It just feels like a buffet to me.
so there is a very nice zipper door, and it's just as easy to get in and out of as a traditional tent. You zip that door open, and you just swing your legs out. Easy to pop in and out. But I understand the concern. Thanks, Chris.
Tell us about the intellectual property here. What have you done? Is there protectable intellectual property in the product?
Okay, great. Thanks, Case. Our engineers have put in provisional patents for 2 important features on the shelf. One is the IR lining on the inside that heats up the interior. We do have a provisional patent on that. The other thing we have a patent on is the shell actually creates an empty space around the bottom of the hammocker that fills with warm air. And that's adjustable for different sized people and for different sleeping styles. And that feature also is, we have a provisional patent on that feature as well. So there are several features that we're confident we can protect with the patent, yes.
So as an investor, you care about how big the opportunity is, right?
Right.
And it feels like the opportunity that you shared was about, was it 80 million?
That's
per year
for
in sales and hammock sales per year.
right.
And so you're going to go after a percentage of that, right? But in building what you guys have built, you've gained some real expertise in just the design, the research, the sourcing of the product, just building that. So what's next? Because I can't imagine you guys aren't thinking of other things. Kind of what are the closest adjacent products that you would build from that?
Right, so we talked about this ground shelter. We also are looking more at targeting not the hammock market, but the sleeping bag market, which is around $250 million a year in sleeping bags. So we think we have a significantly bigger market than just what's sold in hammocks alone, because those are fairly inexpensive. But again, this technology is useful in things like ground shelters. But we have an excellent engineering team, and we hope to expand into a whole line of very innovative and technical outdoor products in the future.
Great job. Awesome.
Thanks, Ben.